Jabronis, playoffs, playing Tom, coming back at you. Not gonna lie, Tom, my work's done.
What do you mean your work's done?
I'm not DFL.
Nothing else matters at this point. We have avoided DFL.
So, disclaimer, we're totally mailing in this podcast just because Sydney listens to it.
Well, most of you don't listen to it, so it doesn't really matter what we say. But this is a playoff podcast for you guys, and here it is.
Big thing this week, obviously playoffs. Pele, Josh, in the championship. So that means the dark reign of Cromer is over.
It has come to an end.
It's been very interesting, and it culminated with Patrick trolling everyone with his family Christmas card.
Personally, I thought it was awesome.
I don't know if I thought it was awesome, but it was definitely an interesting take on the classic family Christmas card.
Well, let me just give you a little story here. The card came in, I briefly looked at it, threw it on the counter, went on with my life.
I did the same thing.
Later on, I was drinking some beers, and Jessica was like, "Did you look at that Christmas card?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Did you really look at it?" And I was like, "It's a Christmas card. You look at it, you throw it down, you move on with your life." So she came and brought it to me, and she's like, "Really look at it." So I started looking. Patrick has the belt, the championship belt, in his family Christmas cards. Amazing.
Same thing happened with me. I was over at Cody's house, and Andrea comes out. She's like, "Hey, did you guys see the Christmas card?" I go, "Yeah, I got it on the fridge at home or whatever. You know, whatever. What do you do with Christmas cards?" She's like, "You need to look at it again." So me and Cody busted it out, and we looked at it, and we thought, motherfucker. DFL Bowl, Tom. Not Clay. Not Tom. So, whew.
Yeah.
Dodged a bullet there.
Dodged a bullet there. You know, it was really setting in last week and the week before that I may be having to do some stand-up. And I was just sitting there, and my heart was racing a little bit, and I was getting hot, like I was sweating. I was like, oh, my God.
Tom and me sat in my office one day last week at lunch, and we just sat and looked at each other, and we're thinking, man, we actually have to come up with some comedy.
This is not a good feeling.
You got Luke and Cody battling it out for the prize, that honestly probably the best prize here, which is the open mic comedy set.
I think it really set in for Luke whenever he realized that he was going to lose to me, and it was like, oh,
A world-class, elite-level loser.
Other things we got, Tom, this week, several people had a chance to win, but they straight up Tommy waffled that shit.
Tommy Waffle strikes again. That motherfucker. Well, let's start out with my man Chris. Chris, the smug one, sharp. He's been dropping some heat. Oh, why didn't you play that guy? Oh, you should have played that. It was obvious.
Clay, you should have totally played Emmanuel Sanders. Just because he only scored 2 points the last 6 games total doesn't mean that he can't score 37 points in the next game. He had an ankle injury after all.
Oh, goodness. So Chris misses the championship game with the miscue. And, you know, when this was going on, I was like, why didn't he play Greg Olsen? Jesus, you should know Greg Olsen.
That's day one stuff.
Yeah, and then you play Bunches of Funches over a Crabtree? Are you freaking kidding me?
Man, I'm not going to lie. That is the play that baffled me. Because Crabtree had been doing good since his suspension.
Right, and basically we're just trolling Chris here about Olsen because, you know, who knew he was going to break out like that?
I'm not going to lie. I don't think I would have played Olsen, but he definitely had an amazing game.
Okay, so Crabtree sits on the bench over Bunches of Funches. Wrong. Olsen was the clear play here. It's obvious from the numbers. He scored 2 points last week, 28 points this week. I mean, how can you miss that? One-on-one stuff, bro. And Brown goes down. Antonio Brown goes down. Now you're toast.
This was tough. I had Brown in one league, and as soon as he went down, it pretty much ended my season as well. So I do feel for you there, Chris. It's hard to have a guy that can go for multiple 40-point games in a season and just go down like that.
Now, let's roll on to my man Luke. Luke should have obviously played Sterling Shepard.
Clearly.
For 31 points over A.J. Green. Yeah. I mean, who didn't see that?
I honestly, when I saw his lineup, I go, why does he not have Sterling Shepard in?
I mean, this is Luke Stradamus we're talking about, the all-knowing one. He should have played Juju Smith-Schuster over Jordy.
Clearly.
But, you know, when I got down to it, it was tabulate the numbers, he still wouldn't have won.
Usually you pay double for that kind of action, Cotton.
Last guy we got, I'm going to go ahead and take this one, Tom. And this has actually helped me a lot, is our main man, Cody K. Nicely. hooked me up this week.
Oh, man, he helped you out quite a bit, didn't he?
He had a big old Belgian Tommy waffle with syrup in every square, layered with butter, threw some chocolate chips on that bitch, and just took that shit down. Played Cooper Kupp over Stephon Diggs, a guy that he traded for, did he not?
Yeah.
Terrible decision. And then he plays Marquise Lee over Nelson Aguilar. Now, in a smug Chris action, Nelson Aguilar gone for double digits in about 4 straight weeks.
So that's an obvious play there.
Marquise Lee was getting some targets and stuff, but definitely wasn't as consistent. Now, the injury to him earlier in the game helped me out a ton.
Right.
And the last one, why did you not play C.J. Anderson?
What were you thinking?
Cody should have known that anyone that plays C.J. Anderson against me, he's going to have a great game.
Oh, yeah.
So he didn't, and you lost, and now you're in the dead last ball.
Well, and, Howard goes for 20 and then 3, and then 25 and then 4. So it should have been that cycle. Cody should have been on that cycle. He should have known, man. He should have known.
Come on, Cody. Get it together, bro.
Now there's only one thing left. Thunder Cookie.
I got a couple here, and it's going to have to start with the Panthers. The Panthers' defense has kind of shit the bed lately. We got defensive end Charles Johnson suspended earlier this month for PEDs.
It's crazy.
4 games. Now, he'll come back week 17 to play the Falcons. I don't know, man. PEDs, do you really need them? You're already massive. You can probably bench press a freaking truck, and you're still doing juice. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know why they keep doing it. I don't know if it's injury related or maybe they just want that extra edge. Who knows, man? But at this point, you got to know that if you do PEDs, you're going to get caught eventually.
Exactly. We're going to stick with the Panthers defense for this next one. Thomas Davis, the linebacker for the Panthers, put a vicious hit on Devontae Adams.
It was amazingly bad.
I mean, he targeted him. He launched helmet to helmet. I mean, he hit this dude so hard he knocked him out.
Yeah.
Concussed. Devontae Adams going out with a concussion hurt Cody as well.
And it helped my man Randall Cobb.
Y'all were going back to back with the wide receivers there, Jacksonville and Green Bay.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You came out ahead.
Yeah, definitely did.
Last Thunder Cookie of this week. I don't know if you've seen these shoes, Clay. They're called Yeezys or some shit.
Yeah, I'm aware of those.
I don't know who came up with those shoes, but that idiot needs a Thunder Cookie.
Freaking hot garbage is what they look like.
I mean, I saw these, and I was immediately like, those are ugly. And then I saw how much they were. I was like, this is freaking ridiculous. I wouldn't wear them.
And for all you regular old non-cool people out there, Kanye is the one that came up with the Yeezys.
Are you kidding me?
I don't like Kanye anyways, and his shoes are equally shitty.
Kanye's an idiot.
Clay Jones.
Is cooking.
All right, Tommy boy. Since we're just straight up mailing this shit today, I got several numbers for you. We're just going to roll. I'm just going to spitball these just out of the blue. 100, 150, 200. 3 numbers.
What do you got?
Dues for next year. What are we thinking? We want to go up? We want to stay down? I don't know.
Well, I think that we need to at least go to 100. Now, Pele, being the big baller that he is, decided that he would throw out, hey, why not 150? Why not 200? But if you think about it, we got 16, 17 weeks of fantasy football. A $200 investment for the entertainment that you get is not that much money.
I don't know how entertaining it is for me, honestly.
I've seen it putting you in depression for like 2 years straight. So.
A world-class, elite-level loser.
My personal vote would probably be 100 or leave it at 50, but we'll have to hash that out next year.
Sure.
Next number I got for you, 0.
Lay it on me, man.
Number of minutes I got to do at open mic comedy.
That is the perfect number.
2.
What you got, man?
The best player in National Football League per play, Tommy Beast Hannon.
No way.
2 carries, 2 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Usually you pay double for that kind of action, Cotton.
I mean, the dude, I was sitting there watching the stat tracker in the Jacksonville game because Cody and me had both the receivers, and all I see is Bone Hannon, touchdown. And then 10 minutes later, Bohannon, touchdown. I'm like, who the fuck is Bohannon?
I saw the same thing on the ticker. It was like Tommy Bohannon. And I was like, who just scored a touchdown? And then later on, I saw Capri Bibbs. I was like, who in the fuck is Capri Bibbs?
They need a Thunder Cookie for naming their son Capri fucking Bibbs.
You named your kid after a bitch cigarette. It's messed up, son.
Next up, I got 3.
Lay it on me, man.
I really don't want to do this, Tom, honestly, for personal, spiritual reasons, but I have to. Seasons that Patrick Cromer made the playoffs.
3 in a row.
3 in a row, man.
Man, he's good at fantasy football.
Statistically, he's the best player in the league. So kudos to you, even though I make fun of you unmercifully and you split the pot last year.
You know how to play fantasy football.
Good job, my man. Good job. Last one I got, I'm going to go back to the number 2, baby.
Is that what you took in the bathroom earlier?
40-point games from Todd Gurley this year.
2 of them, huh?
2. Last week had 48. Week 2 or 3 had 40. I've been pretty happy today so far because everything's been working out. But you know me, I got to bitch a little bit. So
well, yeah.
So here's my bitch of the week. He had 198 points all of last year. In 2 games this year, he had 88. So almost half of his total last year when I owned him, he gets in 2 fucking games.
Wow, man.
Damn it.
He tears it up, that's for sure. He's going to be one of the number 1s next year. He'll be in the top 5 easy.
And I'll draft him and he'll shit the bed.
You're going to draft him twice in 3 years? Do you want him to end his career next year?
And now we got a media break coming from the band August Burns Red. Basically, it's like heavy metal Christmas songs.
Sweet.
I love me some him. Let's rock and roll, baby. All I want to know if you got your popcorn ready. Do you got your popcorn ready right now? Popcorn ready. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers?
Clay and Tom's weekly picks.
You can't handle
Their weekly picks.
popcorn ready.
All year long, Tom and me have been doling out the picks. We've been trying to explain how the league works, all this kind of good stuff. And yet, last week, everyone we talked to did not know how the toilet bowl worked.
And this is 3 years in a row. I mean, geez.
We spent 10 minutes, I think, on the last podcast just on the fucking toilet bowl.
Giving you the possible scenarios of how you could go from here down to the lower tier. Nobody listened. Nobody cares.
So you guys are getting way too much effort out of me and Tom right now.
Dude, the look on Luke's face when he figured out it was possible, he was like, "Oh shit, really?" It was.
Dude, he's sitting at lunch. I was sitting there right next to you. Luke goes, "Hey man, I mean it's like the season's over right now. I can't be DFL. Isn't Cody dead last right now?" And Tom goes, "No man, you still got to go through the playoffs." And you zoomed in and just like his got flushed and he was
face
like,
white. What do you mean?
all right, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the game that probably means the most as far as the league goes, but I, personally could care less about it. It's the championship game. Hard fought all year long. Josh and Pele, 10-4 records. Both of them are riding some win streaks.
Both of their teams are super dominant.
Been amazing all year long.
Both of them been wrecking shop all year. It's going to be tough. Pele's usually projected low and goes high. Josh is usually projected high and goes high. So,
and Josh did take out the current reigning, defending champion, Cromer. Man, I'm going to roll. I'm going to go with the favorite this week. I'm going to go with Josh. He's projected higher. He's been rolling this week. Keenan Allen had an off week last week. I have a feeling that he's going to go off against the Jets. Your boy Michael Thomas against the Falcons. LaShawn McCoy somehow has been having just this ridiculous season. I don't know. I understand how, but he's just been blowing up. I'm going to go with Josh for the win.
Gotcha, man. This was a tough one to call. Like I say, Josh's team has been wrecking shop and putting up big points. But looking at matchups this week, knowing Pele, how lucky he is, I'm going to have to roll with Pele and Gurley dominating the ground game. The one thing about Pele's team, Tyreek Cohen. He has Tyreek Cohen, and he probably should have picked somebody up with his waiver wire budget. Another interesting fact about Pele, didn't use a freaking dollar of his waiver wire budget.
I don't know how he got through the season. No money at all. That's the luck of the Asian. I've been preaching this for years. Luck of the Asian. It works, man. It's effective. The problem is you mucked up his luck this last week by trying to bet on Matty Ice to score that first touchdown. All right. Next matchup. This one really just is a gigantic pile of shit. It's the Chump Champ versus apparently the black dude from Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. Right on. FN 8376521.
The wheels fell off a long time ago. Hey, we're still burning on them sparks, man. We're rolling on the hubs now. So you got Scro coming in. You know, another year, he made it out of he kind of avoided the toilet bowl this year for the first time. So he's kind of riding high, you know. He showed up for a lunch this week. He showed up for the Ugly Sweater Party a couple weeks ago. So we actually have seen him. I'm going to go with you this week, Tom, only because I predicted this at the front of the year. I said you're going to be fifth, and here you are.
I plead the fifth. Man, Scro's got a strong team, but
Dude.
I run shit in the toilet bowl.
Yes. And you have the most dynamic weapon in NFL. Adam motherfucking Thielen.
Dude's a beast.
He's going to take Ferrari down this year. You're going straight to fifth place 3 years in a row.
Perpetually fifth place, bitches.
Now, another matchup here technically doesn't matter. And honestly, these guys have been the most hated men in the Hate the Game League text message board throughout the course of the year.
These guys both have equally terrible smack. It has just gone down to the bottom tier.
It really has. So you got Patrick versus Chris. Man, I'm looking at the matchup here. They're actually projected within 0.2 of each other.
Well, I've only got one thing to say about this. Who cares?
All right, let's dive down to another matchup that legitimately doesn't even matter.
And this is Cold as Ice versus Jon Snow's real dad. And for those of you who don't pay attention to the league, Cold as Ice is Clay. Jon Snow's real dad is Spencer.
I think Spencer's going to give me 6 inches of snow this week.
You'd be snowed under.
I'm definitely going down, but at this point, I don't give a fuck because I'm not dead fucking last.
Ingram and Kelce are going to crush you like a grape.
I agree. I'm going Spencer on this one. Good job, Spence. Good year, bro. Wish we were in the championship again. Now, this is the most important matchup of the entire season. No one cares about the championship. No one cares about anything in between 1st and 10th. What we care about is who's going to do the open mic comedy set.
And I've got one question before I announce these two guys' names. You know who you are. Which one of you has your comedy bit ready to roll?
That's a damn good question.
I bet the answer is neither.
No, because I actually personally asked Cody yesterday, and he said no. He's so confident going into this week, he says he doesn't need it.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
Well, we got an interesting matchup here. You got Cody, who is notorious about not being able to set his lineup correctly.
True.
You got Luke, who has a 7-7 record, but somehow did not keep up and is down there battling for DFL.
The loss of Jordy Nelson due to Aaron Rodgers being gone all season and the loss of Odell Beckham has pretty much doomed Luke.
For sure. Luke's team is looking pretty strong, projected at 122. It's got all the check marks except the kicker and except Jordan Howard. Other than that, Luke's team looks dominant. Cody's projected for about 104. Man, I gotta roll with Luke here.
I think I'm going to have to agree with you here. As much as I would like to see Luke sweating it out on stage, I just don't see Cody putting together a good enough week to beat Luke.
Cody did pick up Martavis Bryant. Now,
Okay.
in the absence of Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant could have a really big game.
That's true. I didn't think about that. Either way, we all win because one of them's going to have to do a comedy set. And it's not me and Tommy Boy.
DFL.
You'd keep your mouth shut if you knew it was good for you, buddy.
Okay, so we've been talking a lot of trash lately. We already highlighted that Cromer and Chris have been the worst at trash talking. And I honestly feel personally that I had a pretty good text when someone asked about New Year's, and I said, well, I'm going to have a marathon boner jam with all your mothers.
It was awesome.
Hashtag boner jam 17. But I know there's got to be something else out there, Tom.
Man, I was thinking about this, and last Saturday I graduated, and then I was having a little get-together at my house. I know people had stuff going on, but I started making calls. Called Cody, hey man, you coming? He said he was busy, and I called Luke, and was like, hey man, what's up? What's the deal? And he was like, oh man, I really want to be there. I do. He was like, well, my grandmother passed away yesterday, and I was like, oh man, I'm sorry. And we had a really heartfelt conversation, give my condolences, love you man, hope you're doing good, we'll just catch you next time. And he said, okay, cool. And there was like dead silence for about 3 seconds, and he goes, hey Tom. And I said, yeah man. He's like, I'm gonna fuck you up in fantasy this week. And then he hung up on me. It was hilarious. And we were sitting in line at Shotgun Dan's waiting to get our pizza, and Jessica was like, did he just hang up on you and tell him he's going to fuck you up? I was like, yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
Straight fire right there from Luke.
Hey, Tom. Thought it was going to be something like sincere and profound, but it's like, no, bitch, you're going down.
Now I'm kind of hoping that he would have beaten you to send you to the DFL Bowl. Whew. Okay, boys. We were going to do some interviews this week. We tried to interview Josh yesterday, actually, at lunch, but the microphone picked up everything in the entire restaurant. I'm way too lazy to do any interviews. Cody wouldn't show up. He's downstairs, I don't know, fubbing himself or something right now.
Right.
So no interview this week. Probably no interviews the rest of this year, obviously. Last podcast of the year.
Josh did say something at lunch yesterday that was pretty good. He was like, unless one of my guys just shit the bed, you're looking at your new champ.
Yeah, he did. I'll take that. So, good luck to Josh and Pele this week. I don't really care, personally, which one of them wins. I think both the guys are pretty cool, and I enjoy hanging out with both of them and talking a lot of shit to them.
You know what just occurred to me is that regardless of who wins, I got to pay somebody $500. Can I borrow $450?
Usually you pay double for that kind of action.
All right, guys. Christmas is coming up this week. Hope you got all your shopping done. Tried to do some sort of a pre-Christmas party. Didn't quite work out. Looks like Cromer and me are going to be doing some Ooey Sweater karaoke this weekend. Once in on that, jump on in. Be thinking about a party to have in January for possibly the belt. I'd like to do the belt change on a different party than the Super Bowl just so we can have like an all-nighter.
Yeah.
Basically.
Instead of having it be on a Sunday.
Yeah. So think about it. Maybe something mid-January. I think there's a UFC at some point in January. So maybe something to do there. Other than that, Merry fucking Christmas, jabronis. It's been emotional.
Boom, son. You're done.